So here at this lunar eclipse, it almost feels like a runway into the major energetic shifts that are occurring for the rest of the year, and starting with the solar eclipse at the end of the month. But this lunar eclipse is really bringing us back to Earth and the physical realm. And we are asked to remember our multidimensional soul journey that we all are bringing here. Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse at 23 degrees 57 minutes on March 14th, 2025. Welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of galactic points, fixed stars, celestial bodies to the Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us connect to a bigger perspective, a multidimensional perspective beyond our own solar system. And this is a expanding experience, I hope. So welcome to this video. What you'll receive in this video are 3 galactic energetic themes that I've pulled out from the lunar eclipse chart. And also at the end, you'll receive 3 questions should you want to integrate this lunar eclipse energy some more. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the description box below. I've also enabled the feature of a membership to this YouTube channel. So if you really like my videos and want more, consider joining us. If you want to go deeper with me and the group that is inside the membership, join the membership today. There's also the feature of super thanks within this channel. So that's also another option should you want to show appreciation for the videos that you receive from me. This lunar eclipse feels like a lighthouse. We are asked to connect to the earth at this time and serve as a beacon of light. And why I'm saying that is that a Virgo lunar eclipse is very grounded, and it's also focused on service. So here we are remembering our galactic heritage, our soul's journey, which is vast. And we are here on earth to serve the whole. Ultimately, because now at this lunar eclipse, we are reminded that we're bringing eons of wisdom, treasures that we are here to unearth within ourselves and bring out in the physical plane to serve. And this lunar eclipse is really focused on also the solar plexus to shine from within and allow ourselves to grow exponentially in terms of the light that we carry. And the light that we carry is often our vision, our sense of place here on earth. And some of us are yet to come into our full potential. But this lunar eclipse is a reminder that it's time now to bring out those treasures and embody that on the physical plane, to hold that light, to serve as a beacon of light. To hold a vision requires emotional balance. And that is one of the key themes of this lunar eclipse. Emotional balance is required to be able to hold boundaries of the chaos that we may experience in the external world. But the boundaries that we can hold within is keeping us in our center. This lunar eclipse is asking us to stand up for something. And whatever that may be for you, there is a grounding, digging the heels in the dirt type of energy at this lunar eclipse. To stand firm within ourselves, this lunar eclipse is asking us to stand up for something and speak it in our own way. Mercury is the ruler of this lunar eclipse. So it is about sharing, teaching, speaking, learning as well. It's about speaking and doing what's right and not necessarily where the majority is going. We're asked at this lunar eclipse to connect more with harmony, with balance, and with peace. We're also asked to connect deeper with universal flow and connect deeper with nature. At this lunar eclipse, it's a great opportunity to invite purification of our mental constructs, because the more complicated we make it for ourselves mentally, the more chaotic we can experience the outer world. But we're talking about here our inner world to make way for something completely new coming. And that's the future we're coming into. It is asking us to stay in emotional balance. It's asking us to simplify our mental constructs. And we're going to talk more about this in theme 3 coming up. We're asked to simplify and tune into truth, because truth just is. There are no options, there are no sides. Truth just is that universal flow that is within us all. And that is the big invitation in the runway up to the solar eclipse here. How can we strengthen our inner boundaries and allow the fluidity of the outer world to happen? That universal flow of truth is the cosmic truth that is flowing through all of us if we allow it to. And that is something to ground ourselves in as we are now in the runway up to a new future that is coming. This Virgo full moon lunar eclipse is opposite the Pegasus constellation and the fixed star Markab at 23 degrees of Pisces. And since it's a full moon, the sun is conjunct Markab. And this is a very powerful influence in the times we're in now. Saturn is in Pisces at 22 degrees of Pisces. So this conjunction is bringing in major lessons and major gatekeeping, I would say, because at this time we are passing through a threshold, a runway into the future to come. Saturn is the keeper of the physical world, the time, space continuum. Saturn is reminding us at this lunar eclipse that it's time to embody the wisdom that we are carrying as a soul through eons of time and pull out those treasures, because it's time now. And this lunar eclipse is also square the Orion constellation and the fixed star Mesa at 24 degrees of Gemini. So here we have a very powerful energy signature with many placements and focus on the Pisces placements. And the fixed star Markab in particular, I'm going to talk more about in energetic theme 1 coming up. But this is a gathering that is going to be even tighter at the solar eclipse at the end of the month. The ruler of this lunar eclipse is Mercury. And Mercury is now at 9 degrees of Aries, which is also the eclipse point for the solar eclipse at the end of the month here, March 29th. So we are receiving important messages at this time through Mercury ruling this lunar eclipse that we really should be paying attention to already now. And they are concerning the times we're in. We also have Venus in the vicinity here at 7 degrees of Aries. We're going to talk more about Venus's role in all of this in energetic theme 3 coming up. I also want to say big thank you for being here on this channel, watching my videos. And if you enjoy my videos, check out my newly opened feature of a membership where you can go deeper with me. You can ask questions on your own galactic alignments. You can get members-only videos and extra questions to work with. How does that sound? Check out the link in the description box below to join us. Before we go into the lunar eclipse chart, I'd like to share what the galactic energetic themes are. The first theme is emotional alignment to embody love. And here we're going to talk about the lunar eclipse, of course, Pegasus-Markab, and Lyra-Sheliak. The second theme is take action in Lemurian ways. And here we're going to talk about Lyra-Sheliak and Asteroid Nessus, and also Asteroid Hawaii. The third theme is a runway to the future. And here we are going to talk about this runway of energy, Alpha-Reticulum, Pallas, a dwarf planet Varuna, and also Andromeda Titawin, that is leading up now between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse and beyond. This is a theme where I have created a members only video to go deeper with this runway energy into the future. So you're getting an early look of the solar eclipse here in that members only video. So it's a great way to get prepared. We are together going to explore this future energy. So if you're curious about what's to come, the future to come energetically, join us in the membership today. I will be inviting you to a live Q&A on March 26th, right before the solar eclipse. As a member, you will receive free admission to this live Q&A. And the Q&A is going to be on 2025 galactic astrology. But I bet there's going to be a lot of focus on the solar eclipse and beyond the solar eclipse, since that is going to be a major bridge between March, when Neptune enters Aries, and when Saturn enters Aries in May. So to offer a live Q&A, I thought it would be a great way to serve and go deeper for those who are enjoying that. So I hope to see you inside the membership, and you'll receive access link to that live Q&A on March 26th. All right, so let's take a look at the lunar eclipse chart next. So here we have the lunar eclipse chart, and it's a full moon. So the moon and the sun are opposite each other. The moon there in Virgo at 23 degrees 57 minutes, opposite the sun, conjunct Pegasus-Markab at 23 degrees of Pisces. And also the T-square that is formed between the sun and the moon and Orion Mesa there at 24 degrees of Gemini. The square arrow happened to be from the sun because that's really where the concentration of energy is happening. And on the opposite side, we have a connection to the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius as well. And we'll talk more about this in theme 1 coming up. And here I've highlighted the ruler of this lunar eclipse, which is Mercury here at 9 degrees. And also with Venus there at 7 degrees of Aries. So this is an important placement because of the solar eclipse that's coming up at 9 degrees of Aries in just 2 weeks after this lunar eclipse. So let's dive into the first energetic theme right away here. So here we have the first theme that I've called emotional alignment to embody love. And with this opposition and connection to Pegasus constellation and Markab there, so if we build on the lunar eclipse chart here, we can see that we also have a kite in this lunar eclipse chart that is significant because primarily Saturn is connecting with Lyra constellation and the fixed star Sulaphat at 22 degrees of Capricorn. And then we have the sun connecting in a sextile to Uranus, and Uranus at 24 degrees of Taurus is now also conjunct the asteroid Dejanira. This kite is very powerful because it puts Pegasus-Markab in the focus here. And we're going to talk more about Pegasus-Markab in a minute here. I just want to add some more things going on with this kite and this chart. So to add to the focus here on that 23-degree point, we also have 2 trines. One trine to Beta Centauri Hadar at 24 degrees of Scorpio, and also to Canis Minor Procyon at 26 degrees of Cancer. And this builds a grand water trine supporting this kite and this focus on Pegasus-Markab at this time. So if we add on those square energies as well to Orion Mesa at 24 degrees of Gemini and also the connection to the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. This is a significant pressure, if you will, or focus point that the universal energy is pointing us in the direction of Pegasus-Markab. And the alignment with Saturn to this lunar eclipse is significant. If you notice also, I have pulled in asteroid Nessus there in conjunction with Saturn. And Nessus has a key role in this purification process that we're in currently in the runway up to the solar eclipse. So let's break down this energy some more. So you may be familiar with the Pegasus constellation and the fixed star sheet. Neptune has been in conjunction with Pegasus sheet for quite a while. But here we have the lunar eclipse conjunct another star in the Pegasus constellation, Markab, at 23 degrees of Pisces here. And Markab specifically is associated with emotional alignment, holding a vision through boundaries. So this is a significant energy signature of this lunar eclipse, and especially also since Saturn is there to emphasize this message. Beta Centauri Hadar there in Scorpio is the archetype of unconditional love. The connection with galactic center is really allowing that universal flow of wisdom that is concerning our own Milky Way galaxy to be in focus. Lyra-Sulaphat is a beautiful star in the Lyra constellation associated with light language and higher frequency music. So here we also have a sextile into Saturn and Sun, and also we have North Node and Nessus there. So there is a higher frequency. We're asked to continue to purify our own mental constructs because often it's our mental body that is lowering our vibration, our frequency. So the emphasis here on Sulaphat is also giving us that partnership with a higher frequency at this lunar eclipse. So we have two asteroids in this chart, and Nessus conjunct Saturn there. Nessus is often associated with ancestral karma and the heaviness, the lower vibration that we sometimes may experience due to ancestral karma. And Nessus is here to be a transmuter, a purifier at this lunar eclipse in partnership with Saturn there. We also have Uranus there in sextile with the sun and trine to the moon, conjunct Dejanira. Dejanira is the victimhood that we may experience, the archetypal energy of victimhood. And Uranus is here to awaken, raise the frequency, raise the vibration of that victimhood. So there's a lot of transmutation and purification going on here at this lunar eclipse. Orion Mesa is associated with the Orion constellation and the head of the hunter Orion. So here we are also pointed to the mental constructs, the logic over intuition, for example, and the challenges that we may experience when we are allowing our mental constructs to take the forefront. And also we have Canis Minor Procyon, which is associated with spiritual technology. And often we come into spiritual technology through sound and frequency and other technologies that are using universal flow. So here we have a lunar eclipse transmutation chamber that is with the purpose to align our emotions so that we can sit in our own boundaries, almost like a column of energy of stability at this time. So here we have the Pegasus constellation again in focus, where liberation is the ultimate archetypal energy of the Pegasus constellation, but it has a element of protection, and the protection that we are invited to give ourselves through our emotional alignment and boundaries. So here, I'd like you to tune into Asteroid Nessus primarily. And I chose this image of almost like a tunnel where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel there. And Nessus is here conjunct Saturn in the vicinity of the sun and the north node. They're all there in Pisces. There is a opportunity to transmute energy to a higher frequency at this lunar eclipse with support and focus on your own energetic and emotional boundaries. And Markab associated with that boundary, emotional alignment, there's an alertness around and focus on that at this lunar eclipse. So this theme is a significant energy signature of the lunar eclipse. And I also want to say that the north node, which is traveling in reverse, will be conjunct Pegasus-Markab come June timeframe this year. Between now and June, there is a window of this strengthening of boundaries because we may have a completely new direction come June this year. So if we think about boundaries, emotional alignment, Pegasus-Markab is very much associated being the vessel for spirit to travel through. And that's very much what we're talking about here, to embody light. And when we are embodying light, we can also make quantum leaps. This is an expansive lunar eclipse in terms of raising our frequency and supported by our boundaries and emotional alignment at this time. And Orion Mesa is giving us also a important T-square to work with, to expand into. And Orion Mesa is associated with our intuition and using our intuition rather than the logic. Orion Mesa is helping to guide us in what is it really that we need to grow into. And Orion Mesa is pointed there in the head of the Hunter of Orions. So it gives us a great focus on what to shift from the logic to intuition. All right, so let's take a look at the second energetic theme. Take action in Lemurian ways next. So here we have the second theme that I called Take Action in Lemurian Ways. And we start with Saturn and Nessus there in Pisces, 19 and 22 degrees of Pisces, with beautiful trines, particularly to Mars there at 18, almost 19 degrees of Cancer, conjunct asteroid Hawaii at 19 degrees of Cancer, and also to Vesta in Scorpio there at 18 degrees. Asteroid Hawaii is associated with Lemurian energy often. And I wanted to pull in asteroid Hawaii here this time because of the conjunction to Mars there. It always gives us an extra message when an asteroid is conjunct personal planet. We also have Vesta, the inner spark. Vesta, who is also speaking to that inner stability, inner emotional alignment, where we are at home with ourselves. And in Scorpio here, it's at a very deep level within ourselves that Vesta is currently operating. And here we also have, and the connection to and trine to Saturn conjunct Nessus there is this invitation from Saturn and Nessus to truly take a opportunity to transmute some of the lower energies here. And Pisces, it may be something that has to do with subconscious that we may not have been in contact with. And the trine here indicates that there's flow for doing this now at this lunar eclipse. The trine here invites us to sit and contemplate this energy because it may actually naturally transmute itself through the subconscious. Often we think we have to do something to release a lower vibrating energy, but in reality, it only takes our attention and awareness. Then we kick it in, so to say, for transmutation. So it's not always linked into an action or we have to do something to release it. And in addition here, we have a kite formation that links in the Lyra constellation and the fixed star Sheliak here at 19 degrees of Capricorn. Lyra-Sheliak is a beautiful star associated with energy of going deeper with nature and needing more space to come into balance. So Sheliak is guiding us here to really harness this time, to dig down in the earth, spend time in the physical plane to connect with natural flow of nature, because all of this will harness the transmutation of any lower vibrational energy at this time. And in opposition to Lyra-Sheliak here, we have Mars conjunct asteroid Hawaii. And Mars and Hawaii there is also giving us the guidance how to take action. And Lemurian ways are very much integrated with nature, all the element, the sky, earth, water, all of the integrated ways that our ancient civilizations were so naturally applying. And with Mars being here, it is an invitation for us to take action, go out in nature, sit and contemplate and allow this lower vibrational energy to transmute itself through us by taking in the beauty of nature and allowing our inner emotional world come into balance. Isn't that beautiful? So here I have pulled in a image of Lyra-Sheliak on the sky map, but also the image of beautiful nature that you are invited to tune into and allow yourself some personal space to contemplate in the presence of the beauty of nature at this lunar eclipse. So yes, it's a beautiful reminder on how we can integrate our own energy to come into balance. And often it takes the integration with nature on the physical plane, because we are here on Earth and in physical form. It's great access to universal flow that we have through nature. So how can you take action in Lemurian ways and incorporate that, go deeper with it at the time of this lunar eclipse? All right, a runway to the future next. So here we have the third theme that I've called a runway to the future. And we start with the ruler of this lunar eclipse, Mercury, there at 9 degrees of Aries at the solar eclipse point, giving us important messages and information at this time ahead of the solar eclipse. But we also have Venus at 7 degrees of Aries, conjunct Alpha-Reticulum at 7 degrees of Aries. And this is a very futuristic placement that we're going to talk more about and build into this theme, because we do have a runway of energy signature, and we're going to unpack that here in theme 3. So we have Pallas Athene at 8 degrees of Aquarius. She's very much into the future and role modeling ways of negotiation, of peaceful negotiation and warriorship. And she is now opposite, at exact opposition with dwarf planet Varuna at 8 degrees of Leo. And Varuna is the archetypal energy and consciousness of self mastery, sovereignty. And we're talking about boundaries at this lunar eclipse, right? Varuna is the epitome of boundaries and empowerment. And this is a powerful opposition that speaks to and gives us guidance on the energy that is required to move into the future. Pallas Athene, peaceful negotiation, peaceful warriorship, but also Varuna's self-mastery, boundaries, sovereignty. And here we have Venus in retrograde now, and Mercury ruling this lunar eclipse in sextile and trine with this energy. And this conjunction with Alpha-Reticulum, which the solar eclipse is going to be in conjunction with, is really where that future direction, future infusion of energy is coming from, starting now at the lunar eclipse here. This is a futuristic, high vibrating energy in sextile and trine here with this pair. And with Venus in retrograde here, it is about going inwards to align ourselves with that peaceful warrior, if you will, Pallas Athene, and that inner emotional balance that Pallas Athene has to be able to hold her empowerment and dignity at war, but also Varuna's desire to master the inner world. So we're getting guidance here for what the new rules are stepping into the future beyond the solar eclipse at the end of the month. But no eclipse is going to be too easy, right? Because here we have a T-square, and T-squares are things we need to expand into and evolve beyond our comfort zone. And of course, there's a T-square here as well associated with this pair of Pallas Athene and Varuna. So we have asteroid Hygeia in T-square with this pair. And Hygeia at 8 degrees of Taurus is conjunct Andromeda Titawin. Andromeda Titawin is associated with the spiritual warrior archetype, and Hygeia is the purifier. She may have a similar role to Nessus at this lunar eclipse. However, Hygeia is often focused on our body and also the brain. So this is also giving us the guidance around what to focus on. Hygeia wants us to pay attention to our body, simplify our mental constructs, and simplify the way we are thinking. How can we simplify and come back to basics at this time, at this lunar eclipse? Hygeia is the ultimate asteroid for health. So this T-square is really an invitation to what we can do to increase our wellness and health at this time. So taken together, this is a futuristic energy, almost like a heads up to the solar eclipse and what we can glean from the messages from Mercury here. The future is going to be a different ballgame. And here we are getting very much advice from the asteroids, and the dwarf planet Varuna, but also through Alpha-Reticulum, where we are getting insights on what this new playground is about. So here we have Reticulum and Andromeda, two constellations that are heavily guiding us at this time. Alpha-Reticulum there in pink circle, which is supposed to be moving up a little bit around that yellow dot, which is Alpha-Reticulum. It was a little bit out of the comfort zone there. So it didn't fall in the right place in the image. So forgive me for that. Titawin there in pink in the Andromeda constellation too is an outlier, often not highlighted on the star maps. So I had to put that in. And what does that mean? It means that we are going to have new playing rules moving into the second half of 2025. And we will be asked to view the world and view ourselves and the world through different glasses, probably high-tech, some sort of futuristic way. This is also the reason for the call of this lunar eclipse to come into emotional alignment so that we can stand strong and firm in the times we're in, because we will be asked to look through a different lens as we move further into this year. And what that means for you, it will be something different for all of us. But one thing that we are invited to is to purify the way we're thinking, simplify, come back to basics, come back to nature, aligning with universal flow, because that is also how we can channel and flow our own truth, the truth of our own fractal here as part of the whole. And one little curiosity about the constellation of Reticulum, many constellations have an ancient myth, but Reticulum is not coming in with a myth. It was discovered in 1750s. It was actually named from the eyepiece of a telescope. So it's archetypally, it's looking into the future, looking into the cosmos, And that's what we're asked to expand into at this time. As you can tell, I'm excited about this, and there will be more emphasis on Alpha-Reticulum because of the conjunction of the solar eclipse to this constellation Reticulum. This is not the last time you're going to hear about Reticulum constellation. And we're discovering more and more things together about future energy coming into Earth at this time. And so this future energy is very much held by the Andromeda constellation and the Andromeda galaxy as well, helping to guide this very high-tech, high-frequency energy coming into Earth realms at this time. So Andromeda Titawin is that spiritual warrior to be in the forefront of evolution. And that is an exciting place to be. Yes, so the runway to the future is laid out. We're on it. And this lunar eclipse is a very much more grounded energy than what we are going to experience next in the solar eclipse energy that takes place in Aries. It will be ruled by Mars. And if you're curious, there will be a members only video going deeper with this period of time between lunar eclipse and solar eclipse and beyond, where I explore this runway into the future with you some more. And Venus in retrograde since March 1st will be going direct on April 12th. And when Venus goes direct at 24 degrees of Pisces, and what's at 24 degrees of Pisces? It's Pegasus-Markab, right? So there's a connection here between Venus's story and Venus's journey, connecting now with Alpha-Reticulum, going in retrograde to connect with Pegasus-Markab and going direct right there on April 12th. So there is a process, there is a journey here to prepare this runway into the future, way beyond the solar eclipse energy as well. So we're looking forward to Venus's own journey and how she is influencing us through this retrograde that we're in with her. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide. There's a link in the description box below. So I have a couple of questions. Should you want to integrate this lunar eclipse energy some more? The first question is, what are some of the ways that are calming your emotions? And also, what are emotional boundaries to you? This may be something that we don't normally think about or contemplate, but now is the time to define this and refine it for ourselves some more to come into emotional alignment. The second question is, how can you form a strong bond with nature? And we all have different ways to connect, but if you don't have a strong bond with nature, maybe open up to an intention of having such, because now is the time when nature is calling us. The lunar eclipse in Virgo is very much a grounded energy. So it's a great time to invite nature to become a bigger part of your life. The third question is, how can you simplify at this time? And this may be in an area where you feel that you are worried or you're thinking a lot and lots of mental anguish, let's say. It's a good way to start to think about and ask yourself, how can I simplify the way I'm thinking about something? And to support you, maybe the time in nature will help with this, because nature will naturally call on your heart energy. So maybe this is a great combination to allow that simplification to happen and expanding your heart energy by its presence of nature. And notice how you feel differently. So good luck with those questions. And should you want to go deeper with additional questions, we have that within the membership for you to dive into. So we have big energy coming towards the end of the month. So this is the opportunity here to really dig your feet in the earth and strengthen your emotional boundaries so that you can stay centered as we move into the next month and months to come here in this year. This is a great opportunity to consider connecting deeper with nature or allowing the simplification to happen in one area of your life that you feel it's complicated. Let me know your thoughts and insights on these questions in the comments. I can't wait to read them. There is so much to explore, and I'm very excited about it. And I'm excited that you are here watching and listening to New Light Living podcast. So thank you for being here. I am Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. Thank you for being here. Visit me on ulrikasullivan.com. Send super thanks to me if you feel called to it for this video. I will greatly appreciate it. And check out the new membership. You're more than welcome to check it out. Ask all your questions and receive answers back from me. And also, as a member, you'll receive an invitation to the March 26th live Q&A about 2025 astrology. Thank you very much for being here, and I can't wait to come back with another video for you. Bye.